Okay, I'm ready.
Soldier boy, I'm in it. Why me crack it? Why me roll? Why me crack that soldier boy? That Superman, that now why me crack that soldier? 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 Now what? Soldier boy, I'm in it. Why me lean that? Why me roll? Superman, that yeah, why me crack that roll car? Superman, now why me jocking on them haters, man? When I do that soldier boy, I need to let that crack that thing out. I'm jocking on it. If we get the fight, then I'm coming, then I'm coming. You catch me at your local party, yes, I crack it every day.
So when you think about the kids that are coming into our classrooms today, they have access to technology in every part of their lives except when they come into the classroom. If you look over time, you think about how long technology has been in education, and you can look at the different trends that have happened over time, computers in the lab, one-to-one initiatives, and the integration and that full kind of absorption of technology and actually seamlessly being integrated into the curriculum still hasn't happened.
I think that clickers are the most valuable addition to my classroom I've seen in over 30 years of teaching.
Clickers have absolutely changed the way we teach. I think it's now something we look forward to. It helps us to bring more innovations into our teaching.
Lecture now becomes very dynamic rather than static. I'm not just a robot presenting a pre-prepared lecture.
It evens the playing field a little bit. Everybody has a chance to kind of think about things and answer them at their own pace.
I find that teachers that use clickers in the classroom are much more in tune to what their students are understanding and what they're not understanding.
They engage students in their own learning. The students move from passively listening to my wonderful lectures to actually having to figure out things and learn them themselves.
The relaxing atmosphere, and the students feel like now they have a voice in the classroom. I think that is very important for students.
But just what is a clicker? Clickers are basically a real-time poll of your class, which helps them learn. Let's give you a brief snapshot of how it's run. Several times in each lecture, the instructor pauses and asks the class a challenging question on the material. Students chat with their neighbors for a few minutes to help them figure out the answer, and then they click in with their choice. Instructors can get a record of every student's answer. A real-time histogram is created, showing the class response as a whole. The instructor discusses the question with the class and moves on from there.
What if they're spinning opposite ways? The clickers are good for many reasons, but one of the simplest is there's accountability. Everyone knows that their discussion answer is going to be recorded, and so they're all talking about the science. They're not talking about Saturday night. They're talking about astronomy.
The clickers seem to be a really nice way to keep me focused and attentive in class. They kind of get me out of that sort of slump position in my seat and make me think about something.
Clickers allow
At Washburn Elementary, kindergartners who had struggled all year to learn their ABCs are now breezing through the alphabet. The school's literacy specialist began seeing incredible progress after the youngsters began using her iPad. This video was shown to the Auburn School Committee, and it overwhelmingly approved buying iPad 2 computers for every kindergartner in the district.
In the next few years, I think one of the biggest challenges is going to be how do we integrate technology into good teaching. We was on a research laboratory. We were engaged in some pretty serious study of interactive whiteboards and their effects on classroom teaching, particularly with Promethean technology. And that's one of we're a research laboratory, so we look for studies like that. And after that study, I'm just totally convinced that. That type of technology, and there are other types of technologies too. For example, individual laptops for students. But in this case, it was interactive whiteboards, a Promethean version of that. That, when used well, that makes the classroom, that makes things available to teachers and students that you just can't have it. You just can't. A great teacher with an interactive whiteboard, will outperform a great teacher, without an interactive whiteboard. They just have more tools at their disposal. Now, I'm sure there are exceptions to that, but I just think it's a very powerful technology. So how do we now redefine teaching, using the technology, those technologies? Because it's different. I've written books on instruction, and I realize that 10 years from now, any book I've written on instruction previously is not going to be very useful because it doesn't address how to do, something with technology, interactive whiteboards, individual student computers. So that's a whole big area here. It just changes things, and sometimes it changes things dramatically. So I think it's not like we're going to throw out everything we know. I think what we've learned about teaching without technology will be the basis now to say, and how do we teach better with technology? Some folks I've talked to have predicted that within 5 years, 50% of the schools in this country, 50% of the classrooms in this country will have interactive whiteboards of some sort. I believe in the UK now, 80% of the classrooms have interactive whiteboards. So if that's even remotely accurate, 10 years from now, the majority of classrooms will have that technology, and teaching will have to look very, very different. And I think, the potential is dramatic in terms of how much better job we can do, than we do right now.
I absolutely love the board. It's fabulous. It's just a huge enhancement for instruction. The kids love it. They get so excited to use it, and it's just wonderful. It really does cut down on behavior problems because they're really motivated and interested to sit and look at the board and pay attention.